Hello, and welcome to the Drive Home Podcast, the podcast where I'm the only one who's buckled up. Hopefully. Well, not hopefully. That's a weird way to phrase it. If you're in a car, you should be buckled up. If you're not, you don't have to. Long story short, today has not been fun for me. The past couple of days haven't been exactly fun. So, my bank basically runs off of an app for the most part. They have physical location, but what is that sound? Sorry. There's just this weird hissing sound, and that's new. A lot of stuff is new with my car today, and I don't like that. So basically, long story short, I'm unable to access my bank account, and my check from last week hasn't gone through. So I'm penniless until my check goes through, and the banking site is down until Monday, which is tomorrow. So I'm stuck, basically foodless, moneyless at work, which I work at a grocery store, so on my breaks I can go buy food and stuff. And sometimes I might need to buy gas for my car, but that's not gonna happen. So also, if I'll talk about it after the fact if it happens, but today I learned my car has many issues. Let's start with if this abruptly ends, it'll probably end with me saying, "Uh-oh, there's a cop. I'll be back." And there'll either be a part 2 or it'll cut to when I'm back, because it's going to be 2 separate videos at that point, which is not going to be fun for me, but you guys will get to see. Well, you won't see it, but you'll hear it. Well, you'll hear something. I don't know. Long story short, right now, 2 of my 3, because I have one on the top. Most people, I think everyone does. I don't know. My rear brake lights aren't working, except for one. So that's not good. And I got pulled over right outside of my work for it by a cop. He was nice though, and I had no idea. I am fairly sure that's new, which sucks. And to add on to that, up until yesterday I actually needed a ride to work because my car's power steering fluid was leaking, which, if you don't know what that is, to make a long story short, it's what allows your steering wheel to turn without sounding like it's like grinding on steel or something. It's I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm assuming it's some sort of lubricant for the steering wheel or something, because it becomes incredibly hard and it feels like you're tearing your car apart if you're turning your wheel without that kind of fluid in your car. And mine was leaking, and my dad, who is a mechanic, was nice enough to get the part for me, and it was fairly cheap, and he fixed it. And he also drove me to work that day because I didn't have another car. And so that was yesterday. And now today, as I got to work, I got pulled over by a cop. My rear brake lights, which basically means when you put your brakes on, there's supposed to be like lights turn on the back of your car, right? Mine aren't doing that, which is very dangerous, because that's how a lot of people tell. And I don't know, it's because you can kind of tell without it, but that's what people mainly pay attention to. Even if it's subconsciously, they know what it means when somebody has that on. They know that means like, oh, they're slowing down to go do something, to go turn off, or to just generally stop or whatever. So without that, I have one, but it's my top one, I guess, and I'm not even sure if that one's working, because if you don't know, you can't really check your rear brake lights without two people. You have to have one person pressing on the brake and the other person at the back of your car. And right now, as you know, I drive home alone, so that doesn't really help. On the other, in happier news, I'm supposed to be hanging out with my friends tonight, maybe. I asked them if we could hang out because I want to do a thing. So I introduced them to Shag, or to Scoob and Shag, the webcomic that I mentioned in a previous video. And the way we kind of read things when we do, or like, so like whenever we're playing certain games or doing certain things like that have like dialogue boxes and stuff, what we normally do is, if they don't have actual audio, or if they have an option to turn it off, like Persona 5. So from what I remember, we did this for Night in the Woods, Persona 5, which we still haven't finished, and currently we're doing it, or so it's my playthrough of Persona 5, which I want to, but I also don't want to do it without them because they make it funnier, and you know, and we choose our own voices. But also we're doing it for Shag, or for Scoob and Shag, which I love because I do a mean Shaggy. I think it's not great, but it's good enough. Like, it's not good. You want to hear it? I think I'll do a little bit. It's not good. It's more of the high-pitched Shaggy, so I can't really do like a normal voiced Shaggy so good. But I hope I can do it too, because sometimes if I think about it too hard, I can't. Like, come on, Scoob, let's go check out the snack bar. Or let's see. Come on, Scoob, I really don't think we should be here. There's no buffet, man. I don't know. I feel like I can do it good when I'm not sort of performing. Oh, is that what he... Okay, well, that's enlightening for me, I guess. Like, I have stage fright, so to speak. I don't like being looked at by people, and I don't like looking at other people. I don't know how else to describe it other than whenever it happens, it feels like my back becomes hot, and it's very uncomfortable, and I don't know, like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like the top half of my back becomes really hot, almost, if not just like warm, but like warm to the point where I can tell that it's like warmed up, or like hot. Like, it doesn't burn or anything, but like it's the feeling, and I don't know. Like, it feels like my throat's closing in. I think that's something people have when they have stage fright or whatever, and they can't talk in front of people, and it feels so awful. I hate it. So I've never really been one to like be up on a stage or anything, and you know, like, if people are, I don't know, I'm not like the main and center person. I don't want to be, to a certain extent, but like at the same time, you know, like if it's among friends or we're doing something funny, it's whatever. But anyway, I was showing it to them, and we went through about, I think we went through to 74 or so. The last episode we did was the recap episode. If you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. So that's your prize for knowing about it. Also, the fact that I assume you enjoy that someone else knows about it and likes it, and they all liked it. It's just I don't know. I kind of have to be a bit, and I don't like this too much. But then again, I feel like I should do this more. But I have to actively ask if people if they want to read it, because a lot of the times it's like I'll get invited in. I will get invited to do stuff with them, but then it'll be something that they want to do, which, don't get me wrong, I love playing with them, and a lot of stuff we do play, I enjoy playing with them, and I would ask them to. It feels weird, because outside of, like, in school stuff, when you just be like, oh, hey, you want to hang out today? We can do whatever, but, like, we're all at my house, so we're limited to, like, local play and stuff. Which, as, like, a Nintendo family, kind of, like, my first, I literally didn't have an Xbox. Technically, I didn't really have an actual Xbox until the Series X that I bought for myself. But my brother had 2, so I ended up with 1. So, with Xbox Ones, by the way. He ended up with 2 Xbox Ones on one Christmas. And it was and one of them was supposed to be half of mine, but he was like, nuh-uh, but he eventually gave up. Because there's no way he could stop me from doing it, from using it. And it's straight up criminal that he would think that way. And to be fair, you're probably not supposed to move an Xbox back and forth repeatedly from house to house, because we'd go to our dad's house every other weekend. So we'd keep our Xboxes basically with us to a certain point, because we used them so much, ended up using them so much. And we did the same with the Wii U that we had, which I guess me and my brother are one of, like, the 5 people to own one of those, which is the joke. It's improbable that it's that low amount of people, but that's the joke. So basically what I'm saying is I have to initiate it, which I'm not good at. I'm not good at initiating something. Usually I'm good at getting ideas to do stuff, like, during stuff that we're doing that could be other stuff, if, like, we all get bored or something. But generally speaking, I'm not good at initiating group gatherings, so to speak. So I don't want to be pushy in a sense. And I don't know if this is why, but so I moved elementary schools. I changed elementary schools, and I moved in between 2nd and 3rd grade. And from 3rd grade through, like, 5th grade, I had, like, one actual friend that I thought of as a friend, because as soon as so treasure your friends, because it's a lot harder to make friends when you're not, like, in kindergarten and stuff. And for those of you who have tried to be like, who have moved after you're a certain age and stuff, you probably know what I mean. I didn't think I was introverted or anything, but I discovered I was, I guess, because it was so weird not knowing anyone. And my brother was in the same school as well, but he was a grade above me, and he's a social butterfly, so he could make friends with a rock if he really wanted to, honestly. Like, I don't know. He's good at that kind of stuff. But I'm not so much. So I made, like, one friend because there's a guy who was friendly with me during like 3rd grade. And I sort of just basically, like, clung on to him. I was sort of like his shadow for, like, those 3 years. And in 5th grade, he told me off on it. And he might have said we couldn't be friends anymore, honestly. And honestly, like, I was really sad at the time, but honestly, I think that was for the best. Because I needed a push to try and make friends, honestly. Because I guess at that point, I was just like, he's so cool. I don't need any other friends. And, you know, if I couldn't hang out with him, or if he was sick, whatever. And there were other people who were friends at the time, but they were in a different grade, so it was weirder, I guess. I don't know. He was like my main friend, and all of the other people were I'd like to say they were friends, but honestly, they were probably more like acquaintances to a certain extent. No offense to them. Those guys were great. They're all great. And we made up, me and that friend. He was actually the one with the pink Gatorade from the one, like the first story I told. He was the one who was offering it up, and we're chill. Like I don't know what happened, but like he missed some of middle school, or he got homeschooled or something. I don't know the story, but I didn't see him for a lot of middle school, which is fine because middle school was like hell, honestly. I don't know how I got through it. So in middle school, definitely focus on getting all your homework done, because if you don't, what they do is they get in contact with your parents. And that's not so bad. But what's really bad is that they will basically stop you from going to normal school for a whole week. And when you do go to normal school, you go into a room with a couple other kids who are in the same boat as you. And you all just do homework the whole time just to catch up. And it's awful. And like, fair? But oh. That's interesting. There's a cop at my mother's work. I think I'm a little antsy about cops right now. Just because I know my rear brake lights aren't working, so I don't want to get pulled over again because of that, because then I have to explain that, you know. But I'm almost home, so that's good. And I kind of had a bad day at work, honestly. Near the end of the day, somebody in one of the departments spilled a crap ton of like food grease or whatever, and so I had to clean that up. I got like coupons to spend in the store for like in total worth like $6 for it though. So that was nice, because you know, like right now I don't really have a lot of money, so that's honestly really good. I forgot people could give those out. Honestly, I got them every once in a while for cleaning up a really bad mess or something. So in case in point, a while ago, honestly, I don't think it was earlier this year. It was earlier this year, but somebody graffitied the public men's room in our store. So, and I was the only one there for maintenance at that time, so I had to clean it up. And just let me and I think I talked about this, but just let me be clear. Graffiti is not good. Do not graffiti. At least don't graffiti public things. Like, I don't know. Or at least like be able to remove it or something. I don't know. Just don't. Don't do it to public property. It's not yours. I don't care if you're the CEO of the thing. I mean, if you're the CEO, you could probably just be like, yeah, I'm a CEO. I'm gonna graffiti in one of my stores, which is like a huge power trip. And I don't think a CEO would ever listen to this, but like, I'm just saying, graffitiing is not cool, like on other people's stuff. So don't. So unless if someone like asks you to or whatever, or like is like, hey, can you do some art here? Which is not something anyone would ask for someone to do in the public men's room for a grocery store. Anyway, I got money for cleaning that crap up, or trying to, because that was such a big deal. And the grease spill was, it probably, all in all, like the amount of time I spent on that was like an hour and a half, which generally speaking would be terrible. But I've been getting quicker and quicker at cleaning up at night, and I always try to leave myself some space of time just in case something like that happens. So bonus points for me. Anyway, as long as my mother's boyfriend is in here, That's such a funny thing to think. He's the sheriff. So also, just to reference that bit, my mother's boyfriend is the sheriff. Or no, he's a deputy of the sheriff. He's not the actual sheriff. But to make a long story short, there's this one Scooby-Doo YouTube poop thing or whatever. It's like there's like a mini series or whatever. It's called Skook, the Misadventures of Skooks. Go watch it. It's still on YouTube. It's incredibly funny. And essentially there's this famous bit that's like a quote people use now. And it's basic, and it's the caveman episode with the caveman that's frozen in a block of ice. I believe it goes, he's frozen in there, and we're out here, and we're frozen in there, and he's out here, and he's the sheriff, and we're out here, or something. But what I want to know is, where's the caveman? And then Shaggy says all that. It goes something like that. I can't remember it exactly. I just look up SKOOKS space SKOOKS space caveman. That'll probably come up with it, honestly. Or just like the Misadventures of Skooks and just watch through a couple of them, because they're all really funny, and there's only like 5 or 6 of them, I think. But anyway, I'm home, and I'm tired, and I'm exhausted. So I'm going to go inside. Thank you all for listening to this episode of the Drive Home Podcast. So I've a little hiccup, sort of. I was supposed to have 5 episodes last week, I think. I think it only ended up being 4 or not. I don't know. I'm confused at myself. Don't worry about it. So they'll be the same. The episodes don't. The rules don't matter. Reality is illusion. Buy some gold, maybe. I don't know. I'll see you all in the next episode of the Drive Home Podcast. Bye.